One good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Lorraine studio. Today we have the absolute legend Dame Judi Dench joining us live on the sofa, fresh from her triumphant return to the stage in that new Shakespeare revival that's got everyone talking. Lorraine beams as the audience erupts in applause. Judi waves modestly in her signature navy trouser suit, looking every bit the national treasure. Lorraine starts gently. Judi, darling, you've played everyone from Queen Victoria to M, but at 89 you're still doing 8 shows a week. How on earth do you keep going? Judi laughs that famous husky laugh and says, well, Lorraine, a large gin at interval helps enormously. The audience roars. Lorraine giggles. Everything feels warm and cozy until Lorraine decides to steer the chat toward Judi's recent comments in the Times about woke culture ruining theater. Lorraine, smiling tightly, says, now Judi, you did say some people are terrified to speak in case they offend. Do you really think political correctness has gone too far these days? The temperature in the studio drops 10 degrees. Judi raises one perfectly arched eyebrow and replies, I think common sense has gone out the window, dear. We're cutting Shakespeare because someone might be upset by a 400-year-old joke. It's absurd. Lorraine, sensing ratings gold but also danger, pushes, but surely we have to move with the times. Language evolves? Judi fixes her with that steely Bond boss stare and says, language evolves, yes, but chopping great works to bits because 3 people on Twitter complain isn't evolution. It's vandalism. The audience lets out a collective ooh and you can literally see the producers in the gallery panicking. Lorraine tries to laugh it off. Well, nobody's braver than you, Judi, that's for sure, but the damage is done. She doubles down, mentioning a recent production of The Merchant of Venice that added trigger warnings and cut certain lines. Don't you think it's irresponsible, Lorraine asks, to let people know they might hear something uncomfortable? Judi puts her teacup down with an audible clink. When I was a girl we saw things on stage that shocked us, and we talked about them afterwards. That's the point of theater. Wrapping the audience in cotton wool is not respect, it's condescension. The applause is scattered but loud from one corner of the studio. Lorraine, now visibly flustered, says, but some of the language around Shylock, it's problematic now, isn't it? Judi leans forward, voice like velvet over steel. Problematic is a word invented by people who want to feel morally superior without doing hard work of understanding context. Shakespeare was writing about anti-Semitism, not endorsing it. If you can't trust an audience to grasp that, then close the theaters and we'll all stay home with our coloring books. A gasp ripples through the crew. Lorraine tries to pivot to lighter ground. Let's talk about your beautiful cats instead. But Judi isn't having it. No, Lorraine, you opened this particular cat flap. Let's finish the conversation. The floor manager is making frantic rapid signals that everyone can see except the 2 women locked in verbal combat. Lorraine, now pink-cheeked, says, with respect, Judi, some younger actors feel genuinely scared to take certain roles. Judi snorts, actually snorts, and replies, scared? I played Lady Bracknell in a wheelchair when I could barely see the prompt. Fear is part of the job. If you're frightened of words on a page, darling, perhaps choose another profession. Flower arranging, maybe. The audience is split, half whooping in delight, half sitting in stunned silence. Lorraine makes one last attempt at control, but cancel culture is real, isn't it? People lose work. Judi nods slowly, yes. And most of it is cowardly pylons by people who've never set foot in a rehearsal room. I've been called everything from dinosaur to bigot this week for daring to say we shouldn't burn books we don't like. Well, I've got 9 decades on most of them and I'm still here. At this point the director's voice crackles in Lorraine's earpiece, clearly shouting because she flinches. Lorraine forces the brightest smile in Scotland and says, Judi, we're going to have to leave it there. I'm afraid we're completely out of time. Judi looks straight into camera and says, are we, darling, or have I made someone upstairs a little uncomfortable? The audience loses it completely, some standing and cheering, others open-mouthed. Lorraine stands up, still smiling that rictus grin, and says, Dame Judi Dench, everybody, what a privilege, while practically shoving Judi toward the exit. Judi, never one to be rushed, stops, kisses Lorraine on both cheeks and murmurs loud enough for the front row to hear, "Don't worry, love, I won't be back. You needn't have me removed." She sails off stage like the Queen Mary leaving harbor as the closing credits music starts playing 3 minutes early. Lorraine is left standing alone under the lights, smoothing her skirt while the floor manager sprints past yelling cut to break, cut to bloody break. In the green room, Judi collects her handbag, turns to her assistant and says, "Well, that was refreshing. Fancy a proper drink?" The clip goes viral within 20 minutes. #Judi vs Lorraine trends worldwide, and by lunchtime the Mail has the headline Dame Judi storms off Lorraine after woke row. Even though technically she walked perfectly calmly, Lorraine releases a statement saying it was a lively debate between friends, but nobody's buying it. And that, folks, is how a national treasure accidentally torpedoed morning television before 11 o'clock on a Tuesday. Never mess with a woman who once told Daniel Craig to stop whining about carrying a gun.